This is the recruiTECH podcast, the cutting-edge podcast in the CE region, by professionals for professionals about recruitment and technology. We are here to help professionals in the human resources and recruitment fields navigate the challenges and opportunities of finding and hiring top talents.
Hi everyone, this is Gábor Toldi from recruiTECH. recruiTECH CE is just going to happen nowadays, today and tomorrow, and this is our podcast for the CE region. We invited lots of local professionals to be here in Hungary. This is the second time when we are organizing this event, but the real aim, what we really would cover, is to gather a community in the CE region, and we really would love to hear the stories, what's happening around this region, because we have common problems and common issues in the labor market, in the talent acquisition field. But we're always looking carefully for the Western countries, especially for the United States, what's happening there, to understand better what is in front of us in the next following year. And because of this reason, we invited a very well-known person from the States, a real thought leader, a real thought provoker, I would say, who has more than 40 years from now in talent acquisition in the field, which is provide us a really valuable landscape perspective, because here in our podcast is the founder of Future Talent, Mr. Kevin Wheeler, and thank you very much for accept our invitation to our show. And just regarding the landscape, I would say that you had a chance to understand deeply and so watching carefully how the online space transformed recruitment 20 years ago, and then how social recruitment transformed again our job, our activity, our daily work. And now we are in the AI era, I would say. And then because of this, I hope you give us some hints. What was your previous experience? And I'm pretty sure because of the perspective, you will have much more detailed insights of what we have. So welcome at recruiTECH podcast. Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you for inviting me. It's been a very interesting and fun morning.
Thank you very much for all the team. You mentioned in your presentation that in the States in the last year it was 60,000 recruiters lay off, which just disappeared from the market, and your prediction is not going to replace for other recruiters. Those persons has to find another job in another profession.
Yes.
It's shocking.
Shocking. Yeah, it's shocking. It's I think it was unexpected. Part of it was they explain it as a reaction to the pandemic, that during the pandemic companies hired or kept lots and lots of people on staff. And after the pandemic, as the business nature has changed, they have let those people go. But I think it's a deeper issue. I think the real issue is more AI and technology, which is significantly changing the recruitment world.
AI is going to happen somewhere in the far future, isn't it?
We're there now. The far future is here. Yeah.
Okay.
We're here. I think that it's very easy to say something's coming because you don't see it impact you today. This is true whether it was the automobile and the horse or for the internet when it first came out. All kinds of issues around social media. I always find it very interesting to look back at history. And I remember people saying, we will never use social media for recruiting. It's not private, it's public, it's not safe, et cetera, et cetera.
And now this is the way.
Now it's the only way to use it, right? I remember people saying, the internet's never going to go anywhere. There's nothing on the internet. There's nothing there, so why would I use it, right? And now everything is on the internet, right? So, all of these things go through this period of disbelief, fear, uncertainty. And that's kind of where we are with AI, although I think the emergence of ChatGPT 3 years ago almost instantly changed everyone's opinions about AI. Now
everybody has a stomach feeling about that.
They have it. It's on my phone. I can use it now. It's practical. I get it. But when it comes to recruiting, we're still not there yet. But we will be there quicker than we think we will be. And that's, I think, the big challenge that every single company that I know of is now got AI as part of their offering. There's no company where it doesn't say, we have AI.
I think it's there was an example in your presentation about that you comparison our profession with the retail industry, that how transform the retail stores to the online shop. Could you share this story, what you mentioned?
Yeah, sure. I mean, when Amazon, for example, first came out, everyone said no one's going to buy products online without being able to see them, touch them, feel them. Especially true for women, that women aren't going to buy clothes online or shoes because they need to try them on. It's a social experience. They have to do this. And now, as you saw when I asked the audience today, practically everyone raised their hand that they do buy things online and have bought them online. So
okay, but sorry for interrupting. The parallel, I think, maybe the Chinese product, massive products which is arrived from Temu. It's just hit the markets and it's so cheap to order something. What is the reason behind this transition? And there is another example, and just let me spoiler that I'm in your side in the end. Booking.com, it was established in 95, and then there was a massive investment in 2000. And less than 10 years, they were the market leader, and they are still in the monopoly position. And it's just transformed totally the traveling agency market.
Yeah, totally.
Do you think that this is our not so bright future?
Yeah, I mean, I think that whether it's shopping or traveling or recruiting, we're going to find it very hard to imagine a world where we don't have the ability to do things online or in the virtual space, okay? So in terms of shopping, everybody buys almost everything online now. In fact, the number of small shops in the U.S. is just diminished almost to zero because it's just faster, easier, more convenient. And maybe more than anything, you go to a small shop, they may or may not have what you're looking for. But if you go online, they will have what you're looking for.
But from the job perspective, you mentioned that I believe that it's more serious. It's more personal than buy any kind of items as a clothes. Bogdan Bader from Egypt this afternoon mentioned that the remote working is shrinking and the part-time jobs are still in the same level. But you mentioned another fact in your presentation that contracting and part-time jobs and project-based workers are rising in the States. Could you explain?
Yeah. I mean, companies, I think, are saying that, are asking themselves, do we really need a full-time person to do whatever it is that we need to have done? If we're solving a problem, working on a project, whatever it is, Google, for example, is almost all project-based. So if I'm working on a project of some type, I'm going to hire people that have the expertise or skill in my project, and when the project's done, I let them go. So why would I have people for 30 or 40 years when work is changing so quickly, so rapidly, skills are transforming overnight? I need people that have the current skill today. And most companies have not invested in employee development very much. So they don't have a workforce that's pre-trained to do a lot of these jobs. So it's much easier, cheaper, faster to go online and find somebody that has the skill that you need right now and use them for the time that you need them for.
To be frank, I think the organization doesn't have any clue about the skills, what they have internally. So even we are not very well known about our people. We have GDs and we have really old updated CVs about our workforce. We do not have knowledge about what type of skills, how many language can we speak as an organization.
None. I totally agree.
But you mentioned that AI is going to solve this issue as well.
Yeah, I think it will. Number one, AI will be able to understand every employee's skills and background more thoroughly than we do today. They'll have access to any data about employees, assuming they're given permission to access that data. But if they have that permission, they can access your Instagram account, your Facebook account, your LinkedIn account. They can find out almost anything about your skills, abilities, experience, and therefore channel you into an area that matches your skills. So if a company says we need somebody we're opening a new office in Hungary, we need somebody who can speak Hungarian, they can go through the entire company and say, we have 4 employees already that have a Hungarian background, and let's talk to them. Before that, we'd never be able to do that. Before the internet, we could never find those people.
I think we do not have the softwares for it. We do not have the right database for it. No. And I had a chance to play with an AI interviewer tool in the startup phase, and I made a conversational AI talk with based on my CV, what I uploaded, and it was HR director position, and the software is interviewing me on that, and it was really fun that he or she asked a very specific questions, and I was surprised that, okay, it's not bad. So I have a clue and I have an experience how it looks like, but how do you think that large corporates who are super slow, who in Europe, everybody's fearing about the GDPR and the bias also an issue. So how we can cover with all of these with the data security and also for any kind of personal data related with the AI. So how we can deal with this?
Well, I think, from a U.S. perspective, we don't have those restrictions in terms
China
of,
either.
And China doesn't either, which is either an advantage or a disadvantage, depending on how you want to look at it. But in terms of being able to find out information about people, it's very easy in the U.S. There's no requirement to notify you or tell you, or it's considered public knowledge. If you have a Facebook account, it's public knowledge, and I can access that without your permission. Okay. Same with LinkedIn. These are all private, public databases. All right. The idea is if you put your information up there, then you must give consent for it to be used. All right.
All right.
That's not true in Europe, of course. So that is a limit in a way for the adoption of some of these AI tools in Europe. It's a real challenge for the companies that are developing AI to use it here. And personally, I think those laws are probably mistakes in a way that I understand the reason for them, but I think they're overly cautious. And who knows if they will survive the next 5 years as competition is going to force
So do you think that the competition will be the main indicator to step further and let the regulations behind?
I think if companies are saying we are not able to compete in the talent marketplace because of these restrictions, they'll put a lot of pressure on the elective bodies to change these rules or loosen them or not enforce them, one or the other.
You mentioned in your presentation that human in the loop is not necessary in the recruitment. Could you explain? Because we saw lots of automation, even in LinkedIn Recruiter. Automation is just publicated last year for LinkedIn Recruiter users. There are lots of application tracking system for matching, for messaging, but for the total process, how it looks like in your imagination for the future?
No, we may not be there yet, but we will be very quickly. I mean, we're already using it for a whole variety of jobs, call center jobs, warehouse jobs, lots of volume recruitment jobs now have no human contact. Amazon is hiring practically everyone for their warehouses with nobody not talking to anyone. You go through an online interview process, and it tells you to come to this particular address on Monday morning at 8 o'clock and you have a job. You didn't talk to anybody. So this maybe hasn't yet migrated to professional hires and white-collar workers to the same extent, but it will come. It's coming. And I don't think that there's any reason that it wouldn't come. Okay, the tools are getting more sophisticated. The ability to have a meaningful conversation with an avatar.
Okay, but what is going to what's happened with the judgment? How it works with the human judgment?
What do we mean when we say human judgment? I mean, we mean my bias or my prejudice comes into view. It's my problem with the term human judgment and culture, corporate culture. To me, they're sort of code words for let my prejudice and bias come through. If the easy way to tell somebody that didn't get a job is to say, oh, you just don't fit our culture, which means you don't play golf like my boss does, or you don't have the same interests that we have, or whatever it is, or you don't look like we think people should look. So it's a code word. It's a code word for we don't like you for some reason or another. Okay, nothing to do with your skills or abilities. All right. So, and that's what we call human judgment. So I don't necessarily think that that's a unique, special thing that we should be honoring. In some cases, obviously, it's important that a person is compatible with their boss and with the job they're doing, and that's okay. But it shouldn't be anywhere until the very, very end of the process, after all your credentials and qualifications have been vetted and you match the qualifications for the job. So to say human judgment, and right now human judgment plays a factor from the day you send your CV in.
Yeah, sure. But we're judging by gender,
your name,
by age, by university, where you came from, and everything.
Right. So you're dismissed before you even have a chance to demonstrate your capabilities, right? So I don't think
it's more Hippocratic.
Yeah. I think using the computer is far more fair and objective and honest than having a recruiter make that decision.
Wow. It's a hard feedback. Okay, it's massive. I'm still thinking about how we can replace our jobs. And you mentioned that your prediction is that 90% of 90% of the recruiters are just is going to lost their jobs or transform somehow, and we don't need so much recruiter for the future because sourcing might be automated, and we already see how it looks like for the sourcing automation. I can predict. You said that also the selection might work, but what about the hiring and the decision and, for example, the salary negotiation?
I look at it this way. If you really look at what AI is capable of right now, let's say you've gone through the process and now we're ready to make you an offer. So I can look back. I can probably have access to your current salary level because AI can see everything and know everything about you that they possibly can. It can see your financial. It may see if you have a huge amount of debt on your home, or you own 2 cars that you have to pay for. Whatever it is, okay, it's going to know. So it's going to have, which a human recruiter would not have any of this data. So it can make an offer to you, understanding very clearly what your needs are and what's probably going to be your motivation for taking a job. It may not have anything to do with money. It may be that it knows you're just dying to get your hands on a great AI development project, okay? So it can present that to you, okay? It will know where you're coming from
what
in terms of what your trigger is, right? Right now today, we only are able to do that for some very high level headhunter type of jobs where the executive recruiter might really know what this person wants or needs, right? But it's very rare and only unusual cases. But by using AI, we can do this for virtually every job out there. So we can tailor the offer specifically to you, knowing what's probably going to be the thing that will really make you want to say yes about this job.
What do you think about the recruitment technology market? I think extremely lots of money arrived as an investment for the HR and TA tech world in the last 5 to 10 years. And now is increasing still for the AI. And lots of companies just said that, okay, well, now we are AI first. And doesn't matter, we know what does it mean really. I understand somehow the mobile first approach. Right. Sorry for that. This is maybe I'm an old-fashioned guy, but the main point is that what we should expect and where we should go, because there is some really important point for the buyers. We have a TA Tech trend survey in the CE region, what we just ran 4 months ago, and what we learned that everybody is hesitating to buy because there is a fear that what might be the right technology to implement for this changing and transforming world. So what is your guess where we should invest?
It's a really difficult time right now. I completely agree. that when you've got technology developing so rapidly, when you've got so many advancements coming almost overnight, it's very challenging to say, I'm going to invest my money in this particular product and to find out 6 months later that's a better one or a different one has come along, right? So I think it's going to be a while before we get the confidence in the market for people to really spend a lot of money invest in it. So right now I'd say invest in the smaller technologies that aren't so expensive, the things that you can either pay for as you go or have different pricing models. I was talking with a firm downstairs today, and they've changed their revenue model 3 times in the last year in response to this very issue. Okay, so now they're charging by results instead of by just you pay for it up front and so forth and so on. They give you a choice of which way you want to be billed, 3 different ways. So I think you're going to see different billing models from the vendors, different approaches to how they deal with this issue. And as if I'm leading a recruiting function inside a company or have to make those decisions, I will be very cautious about which ones I go with because things are moving so quickly. And maybe I should develop my own technology inside because right now with the LLMs that are available, I can create my own LLM on my own data. I can develop my own technology easily. I was talking with someone at lunch today that said that he had a person developing a tool for him, and he asked Google Gemini, to design an app. He said it did it in like 12 hours. And it was fantastic, better than the designer was doing.
Wow.
And so he said, I'm just going to ask them to do it. I don't need these vendors. I do it myself. So it really depends on the size, scope, and scale of what you're trying to do. But let's say you just need an app to hire a certain kind of person. Potentially, you could go to Google Gemini and have it develop the app technology for you.
I think the Stanislav Basovitz from Scotty AI is absolutely agree with you. Yesterday I had a conversation with him, and his prediction as well that for the future is not the software as a service solutions, rather the internal company-driven developed solutions for specific and practical problems. And I think it's in our last event, Ellen Bailey from Smart Recruiter, also for the States, she came and she said that we have to drop to the trash all of the current technology because there might be a totally new, different type of technology to manage and cover everything. I love the examples regarding Cortez that just burned the ships and everything. But I'm just wondering that in this not so bright future for the recruiter perspective, what do you think? What might be the skills we need in recruitment to survive or to manage this transition where we are face off?
I think you have to really look and say, what can I do that a computer is not very good at doing? And those are going to be the things that are, and I think we've heard this talked about many times. It's going to be the ability to influence and sell and overcome real challenges that people might present to you. AI is not good at that yet. It may get better at that in the future, but right now that's not something it can do. It's not good at anything to do with emotions and feelings that people have, right? So being able to understand and respond to a candidate's emotions or anger. Really good examples just recently with the airline industry, and they have automated customer service.
Yeah.
And people are stranded in an airport and they're talking to a robot that doesn't have any sympathy or understanding, right? So that's where we still need humans, okay? That can say, I understand you've got to get home and your wife's sick and, the airplane's not flying. And, you've got to have people still that can do that. So that human emotional side of it's going to be really important. I think anything to do with helping determine whether the technology is responding in an ethical and legal way to things that are going on is going to be important. So somebody in the recruiting function that is an ethicist, let's say, that can really say, I don't think this is a good choice that you're making AI, right? And be able to tailor the algorithms to become more ethically responsible. Okay? So there's a whole number of areas that are all around the human, emotional side of it, understanding understanding the politics in an organization, understanding who's really important in a company? And you ask any employee, they'll tell you it's different than the org chart, right? The org chart will say this person is the manager, but the employee say, yeah, he's the manager, but this person really is who's running the company, okay? So the computer doesn't know that. The computer only knows the org chart, all right? So having political savvy, understanding what's going on, those are all things that are still going to require humans. Now, whether you call it a recruiter or what we call it, I don't know. But these are the skills that will be around for quite some time until we get, superhuman artificial intelligence, which may or may not ever come, right? So, but AI will take over more and more of those things that are transactional, that are predictable, that are data-based, that are repetitive. Those are things that AI will completely take over. And if we look at recruiting, and I do a lot of consulting, and I go in companies and I have recruiters, I often ask recruiters, give me a log of everything you did in a day. Everything you did. And it's pretty amazing.
Scheduling,
that 80 to 90% of it is admin, scheduling, meetings, useless meetings, right? How much time did you spend talking to a candidate or influence a hiring manager?
10%.
Almost zero, almost zero. Yeah. So the AI is going to do all those things.
All right. You mentioned one sentence, and could you explain for the listeners that work is a product?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I think about work in a whole different way. Right now I don't know what the average person would think when you say the word work. I think we think job or employment or whatever. But work is a product. If you think about work as a product, getting something delivered, then the key question is, how do you deliver that? Do you deliver that with a full-time person? Do you deliver it with a robot? Do you deliver it with a gig worker? It becomes a whole different equation when you start thinking about it as a product. It's like, how would you make this water glass of water? Would I have a hand craftsman make each glass? Would I have a machine make them in volume?
Or just print it?
Or just print it. So how would I do it? So if you think about work in the same way, it changes everything that you think about work. It's not about filling a job. It's about what is the work you want done. If you ask a hiring manager, what's the work you want done, they kind of look at you like, what?
Yeah, you are right. I think our industry is still thinking with the approach about job description or job ads and that kind of stuff.
Right.
But
and
even no one can define the key or criteria.
Nobody can. You ask a hiring manager, what would you specifically and objectively want this person to do after they get hired? And they go, just work for me. I mean, you get a nothing answer, right?
It would be not the goal.
Yeah, and or they'll give some goal that may or may not actually be real, right? But they don't really know themselves. But if they thought about what they as a product, I think it would change their thinking completely.
Okay. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
It's been great, a lot of fun.
Work is a product. I'm going to think about it. Thank you very much. That was RecruiTECH podcast. Please follow us, and thank you very much for listening all the other podcasts as well. And I'm looking forward to hear you in the comment section. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.